If you're going to Curacao and you're looking for an itinerary and travel plans, watch this video.
First 3 days of the itinerary, you'll stay at Livingstone Jan Thiel Resort. The next 3 days are at St. Michael or St. Mitchell, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The last 3 days, we came back down towards the busy area and we stayed at the Royal Sea Aquarium Resort. You do need a car, so keep that in mind.
Let's talk about some foods to try while you're in Curacao. We went to the Mifo huts. It was like on the beach. We went at night and there was actually like a cruise ship and some other ships out in the ocean.
Yeah, you could see in the distance.
Yeah, it was really pretty. There was also a pup that visited us. They do have stray dogs, but they'll kick him out if you don't like him, but we were like, no, leave him, he's fine. They sold like
It was
whole
like
lobster,
seafood.
right?
Richie got a whole lobster. That was where I got the red snapper.
Parking was a little crazy for this, but we figured it out. It was kind of all over the place.
It was like a super small spot.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this narrow dirt lot was this restaurant. And the inside was super tiny.
Kind of hard to find too on maps.
A lot of things were hard to find on maps there.
Maps was not it in Curacao.
Yeah, it would get you in the general area, but it was good. It was good. It was super reasonable price.
It was on sand. Like as soon as you walk in, it's like on the sand. So that was cool. It felt very beachy. People were super nice. And they had like a party going on that night and they were like, we're full, but we'll still take you.
Yeah,
so that was cool.
So they sat us outside.
Yeah.
Which was nice because we were right on the water.
Oh, and Richie got to pick his lobster. Did you say that already? He went to the back. He ordered the lobster, which was their special for the day, and then he went to the back and looked at which one and picked it.
So that because they weighed it. So the price of his meal was per how much his lobster weighed. La Boheme. It was right in the middle of the downtown area. It was an older, rustic type looking building that they tried to make, not fancy, but appealing to the eye.
It kind of looked like a European, Dutch, because it was.
Yeah, true.
Dutch place.
Their big thing was arapas, so I'm pretty sure we all got an arapa.
He was good.
Our server was pretty cool. He was super into talking to us because he was trying to work on his English and whatnot. And then
he's the one that we actually saw again at
our restaurant,
Aquarium Sea Resort.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later. Olas and Copas. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool that we ended up seeing him again later in the trip.
The arapas were good. I enjoyed my sandwich. I'm pretty sure you enjoyed yours.
The next place we went to was the food hall, market. It was hot. It was cool. It was small. It wasn't as big as a Thailand market or even the Netherlands market.
It was a lunch, a local lunch food hall.
Yeah.
The main reason we went there is we wanted the iguana stew, which it was hot in Curacao, so I don't know. Stew wasn't the best all the time, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And then the iguana it wasn't bad, it was just weird. I mean, an iguana is only yay big, and so if you're eating a chicken leg or an iguana leg, you're only getting this much meat, and then you got little bones, but the taste was all right. The stew was fine. And then we also had that beef ox, or the oxtail stew as well. We shared that, and that was probably better. That just tasted like beef.
The iguana stew was not for me. I was really pregnant, and I was like, no, I'm just not going to put a random thing in my body right now since I'm building life. All right, the next place we went to was Van Gogh, and I loved Van Gogh. It was so Instagram worthy. The plates were pretty big, pretty delicious. I think I got French toast, which was really more so just a pancake, but the way they did it, it was cinnamony. I don't know. It was delicious. The coffee was really good, and if you lived in Curacao, this is where I imagine you'd want to go work in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
It's very someone's home.
It's very you.
Yeah, it was someone's home that they renovated.
I'm fine with
cute.
the biggest hole in the wall place you could imagine, but
we all liked it. The next place we went to was my absolute favorite place, and I highly recommend going there. It's Cookie Monster. It's a bakery, breakfast spot, lunch spot. I got their blueberry pancakes, and they were absolutely delicious. They gave me a coffee with a little cookie. I don't know. Everything that I had there was just top notch, where I will say I think a lot of the food in Curacao was very it all blended together.
Similar.
Yeah, but with this place, with Cookie Monster, they're doing something different.
It's
and it's
standout for
really
sure.
good. You have to go if you go to Curacao.
And it was in an old, it was in, maybe not old house, but it was in a house.
Yeah.
That they made a restaurant. And it was it was super random too, because we found it, but it was in the middle of a neighborhood.
You parked
you basically parked in their backyard.
Yeah.
And then you go in and it's just this remodeled house into a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I had a sandwich there that was honestly probably one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. It was some sort of steak sandwich They had some sauce deal going with it.
Yeah.
And like she said, like whatever they're doing, it's working.
I think that they could compete with like a Phoenix restaurant. Like that's how good it was. Two spots we're going to talk about for food are Playa Forte and Jan Thiel. We'll dive more into it later because we're following Jamel's itinerary, but those are some really good spots as well.
So we stayed at 2 hotels and an Airbnb. One of the hotels was the Livingstone Jan Thiel Resort, which was cool. You did a video on that, so check that out. The other one was the Airbnb, which was sick.
Yeah.
And like that whole neighborhood felt like a fake neighborhood. It was just like an Airbnb neighborhood.
It was like Bel Air. Like Beverly Hills of Curacao.
But there's a video about that, so check that out. And the last place we stayed, and that was actually just the 2 of us, was the Royal Sea Aquarium, which I thought it was cool. It was a little older, definitely a little more like dated, you could say. But location-wise and restaurants and like for what it was cool. Day 1 was our like Williamstead hangout day. So we did a lot of walking around. That's when we went to La Bohemia. Parking was kind of a mess down there. So eventually like we found this lot with this dude chilling in it. And I think he just owns the lot. He hangs out on his phone all day and just collects payments. So downtown they have their big Curacao sign, which was cool. We went into the Punda neighborhood and that's where...
Colorful buildings.
Yeah, the colorful buildings. Some of them are like old and knocked down, but one of the things that Curaçao's working on is like taking those buildings and either remodeling them, making them into restaurants or hotels or Airbnbs. So they have a lot of boutique hotels down there. So you have like the main downtown area, which is where the Curacao sign is and where we parked. And then you have their cool bridge that when it's connected, it's a straight up bridge, but when they open it for boats, it opens like so. So like we got to cross that bridge. We got stuck on the bridge while it was opening, which was fine. It was cool. The other side of the bridge, once you do cross the opening section or whatever, you're at Rift Fort, which was a super old like military defense fort from back in the day, which they kept like the outside rocks and the seashell barrier, I guess you could call it. And then they put more gift shops in there. They put restaurants. It was part of that was like a part of either the Hyatt or the Radisson, but that's also where the only Starbucks on the island is.
I think for me, I was pregnant at the time. You got to prepare for the heat and you got to prepare well. We were like putting on sunscreen. I don't know why, but we were putting it on as we like were outside, and you need to put your sunscreen on. The UV index there is insanely high. You need to be carrying a lot of water on you, but luckily there's a lot of gift shops. You can buy water there if you don't have it. And then I highly recommend if you're going to walk around like we did that day to wear walking shoes. Even if I wasn't pregnant, we walked a good amount to see everything. Totally worth it, but wear clothes that you don't mind sweating in and bring a hat. Day 2 on the itinerary, it's the Abandoned Island tour, and we booked through Erie Tours. We were looking at Bluefin,
Mermaid.
And now that we have experienced the whole day, I will say Mermaid would probably be my #1 recommendation for booking your tour through. Just because when you get to this uninhibited island, Mermaid has like a restaurant. They have a lot of chairs. They have shade. I believe they have a bathroom.
Yeah.
And they don't let anybody else use it.
No.
And like at all. Even if you're pregnant.
Yes. We were walking back from our big hike. Richie was like, hey, do you mind if like we just use 2 of your chairs? Like, I know we're not a part of y'all's group, but both of our wives are pregnant. He was even gonna rent it.
He said like, I'll pay for it.
Yeah. And the dude was just like, no, we don't do that. And like turned around. So we were like, okay, sick. If you book with Mermaid, you get access to all that, which makes sense, but they were rude, so whatever.
But had we had been more prepared, totally fine. So I will say this, it was a catamaran. It was really cool, like Instagram worthy. It was super cool to snorkel around the boat, under the boat. Like there was times where the boys would be up on the nets and like I could see them, or vice versa. We were sleeping on the nets and the boys were like snorkeling under us. So that was super, super cool. I think that going into this though, again, just be prepared. Like be prepared to be away for a day. They mean it when they say it's an uninhabited island. Like you need to have water on deck, a lot of water. When you're on the boat, it's like shaky. At some points you're flying.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to get up to go grab this tiny little glass of water.
Yeah.
So definitely I would say like if the big jugs of water, like I wish I would have had 2 of those in my backpack, I would have been fine. And then some snacks I enjoy because I did not like their breakfast. It was like
you couldn't even have it.
I couldn't because it was deli meat.
It was deli meat, lettuce, and cheese on bread.
Even if I wasn't pregnant, that's not the breakfast for me. So I would definitely recommend like bringing real food, something you'd like. Like if I had a peanut butter and jelly, I would have lived. That would have been great. So just be prepared for whoever you book and whatever that looks like. And if you don't want to be as prepared, book with Mermaid.
A few more things about the island tour. Ash didn't like the breakfast, obviously, but it's whatever. Departure time was 8, so we got there at about 7:30. It was super quick. The crew was super cool. They all spoke English. The boat ride was probably just under an hour. Little shaky, a little rocky. If you get seasick at all, don't go to the bathroom. That's what put Ashley over the edge and made her throw up. And I told her not to go to the bathroom.
31 weeks pregnant.
Don't go to the bathroom. Once we were there, we walked to the lighthouse, which was cool. Me and Richie went up the lighthouse to the top. You might find a ETE sticker up there. And then after the lighthouse, we went to the most northern point of the island. And that's where like this big old abandoned boat was, which was cool.
Yeah.
But I just like flew the drone around it and insert drone footage. And eventually lunch was ready and lunch was good. It was like meats and rice and sides. I think there was salad. So it was good. There was like ribs and like beef and chicken and
plenty to keep you full for sure.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how many people were from the United States on our boat with us. How many people were also like had lived in Arizona or from Arizona. I made a few friends that were like one was in Arizona and they were just in Chandler, and then I met like another lady who had lived in Arizona but now lives in Colorado. Yeah. I feel like there was a lot of Americans and just friends we made on that tour. So overall, totally worth it. I just wish we had been more prepared so that I could have like a more positive remembrance. Because like I really do remember, I think the first half of that, Laura and I were just not having it. Like we just wanted to sleep. We were so exhausted, pregnant with no food. So it was just kind of rough.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you've got to give us credit to be pregnant and robbed of food. And we told you guys like we should get breakfast before, and you were like, it comes with breakfast. We were mad at the boys.
It comes with breakfast.
It came with breakfast that we couldn't eat.
I didn't know that.
They didn't know that.
Not my fault.
Anyways.
Day 3 of the itinerary. Richie and I woke up early. We went to Tugboat Beach, which was, I don't know, like 10 minutes, 12 minutes from where we were staying. And at this point, we're still at Livingstone, Jan Thiel. So a lot of like what we read made Tugboat Beach seem super intimidating as like a swim. And so the girls stayed back. And I really think like even if you, with being pregnant, you probably could have done it. So we got there, like always lock your car, always take everything out with you, because it's just like you just go down these random dirt roads all the time. We definitely always had like our phones with us. We always had a dry bag when we were snorkeling. There's lockers. There's a guy that has like a rock painting shop. And then there was like a little restaurant as well. Got straight in the water. I don't even think we took our shirts with us. Always did wear water shoes actually, which was new for me, but everything's a little rocky, so it's worth it. Yeah. And then we probably swam for like maybe 5 minutes. Truthfully, was probably one of the best snorkeling places we had been, like boat aside. There was just so many fish. Once we did get to the tugboat, it was cool. We probably spent like 30 minutes just swimming around the tugboat. We were like swimming down because it wasn't super deep, so it was enough to where like you could sink yourself and stand in it. Boys being boys with a GoPro.
So much cool footage from that. I was super jealous that I didn't get to go. I was sad to hear that I totally could have done it. Even seeing the depth from the top of the water to the boat, it didn't look hard, far.
No. Well, even if you just floated, like you could see it. Like you didn't have to swim down to it. But if you're on the strand of the beach, you literally just go out and then curve left. And it's like I said, like maybe a 5-minute swim.
Insert cool montage here.
Good recommendation would be like wake up, go to Tugboat in the morning, maybe stop on over and get brunch at the cool little restaurant there. The distillery tour is super close. It's just on that side of town. The genuine Curacao liqueur. It was outside again. It was hot, but it was cool. It's like, and everything they do is hands, like they'd use their hands. It's not like, I want to say it was like $12 a person, maybe $15 a person. If it wasn't so hot, Ash said it was probably one of her favorite distillery ones.
Yeah, no, I think all of it was really cool. And I like that they did flavored Curacao, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got another one.
Tamarind,
which is like Red Bull. I just thought it was really, really cool to hear their story, to see how it was made, and then the bottles are really pretty. We're gonna talk about all the beaches because I think that's why everybody goes there.
So for the beaches, like as you guys go through day by day, it's gonna be a little different, but on average, it was probably about $5 per car for entry into the beach. You have the option to get like a palapa or umbrella or beach chairs. And I wanna say for like 2 beach chairs, it was maybe $10 with the palapa.
The beaches in general, all of them are wonderful. You literally can't see a bad beach in Curacao. The waters are just the best waters I've ever seen.
Rumor is though, if you go to the north side of the island.
It's better?
No, it's worse.
Oh.
That's where the bad beaches are.
We'll only go where we recommend.
Yeah.
Them. We've seen Phi Islands in Thailand, and like I would say prior to going to Curacao, that was the coolest, clearest, turquoise teal water I had ever seen. And then we went to Curacao and it was
crystal clear.
Hands down the winner for the best waters I've ever seen. Just like this light baby blue. And so clear when you're snorkeling and underwater. So definitely recommend snorkeling there. There wasn't like as many fish for me personally that like I got to see. I feel like there was more fish in other waters I've been to, but like still a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
Super, super cool and
colorful fish, schools of fish.
I really enjoyed being in the water there.
We went to Klein Nip. That was just like a good, pretty water beach for sure. And then another day we did two, but Playa Forte. We really just went there for lunch.
It was a cliffside restaurant.
Cliffside restaurant.
Really cute.
It was cool. Richie and I actually cliff dove there. And then from there we went to Playa Grande, which was like our true beach for the day. And that was a fun little area. That's where you got your coconut. They had like a pier where fishermen would throw like their scraps of food. So there were tons of sea turtles. The main hit there is everyone goes there to snorkel with the sea turtles.
I want to give a little caveat to this place. It felt a little like dirty. We were enjoying it so much because the turtles, and it was super cool. It was really rocky, so definitely bring your shoes. I think it was like an hour in that all of us were like, they keep throwing these scraps like in the water, and we're like, kind of icky. It was a little icky in that sense, but if you get over that, it was worth it because the turtles were just everywhere. You could swim next to a turtle, you could see one in front of you, turn around, and there's another one coming up behind you. So it was really, really cool to swim like so close with all the turtles, and they were pretty comfortable with people.
Yeah.
The beach we went to was quite literally my favorite beach I've ever been to, Playa Porta Marie. Just so beautiful, super clean, lots of seating, lots of shaded areas with the palm trees. There was a restaurant, there was a bar, yummy and cute drinks, good food. There was a pier. Yep, there was a pier, and we like loved flying the drone off that thing, and we sat at the end of it and took some photos. Super Instagram worthy, super relaxing. I remember I read my book there. You could snorkel. Just everything about this beach. It was big enough to hold a lot of people comfortably. It was just the clearest of them all, which is, they're all clear, but this was like
extra
the most
clear.
Beautiful.
And I think everyone thought that this was our favorite beach too. We didn't see any pigs on the beach, but we did see them. Remember when we were leaving, there were
3.
Yeah, there's like a family of pigs, like, I don't know, kind of up by the park cart.
Something cool was a lot of these beaches have a coconut hanging, and then there was like directions next to the coconut that said like,
oh, super silly.
This is how you can determine the weather.
Yeah.
If the coconut is dry, there's no rain. If the coconut is swinging, there's wind. It was like really funny and a really cute like touch to some of these beaches. Yeah. I had to add it in there because we were all taking pictures of it and laughing about it. So
yeah. The last beaches we went to was Casa Abo. I don't know, we still liked Playa Porta Marie better.
It was absolutely incredible though still.
Yes.
Like it was second for me. Like I just thought that Playa Porta Marie was better, but Casa Abo,
environment wise, I think Casa Abo I enjoyed snorkeling at a little better. Day 7 on the itinerary. I mean, at this point, like we were getting a little tired, so it was good to have like a relaxing day, or like the back end of the trip was a little more relaxing. And now we were staying at that Royal Sea Aquarium, so we were kind of in the middle of everything. Day 7 of the itinerary is the Hato Caves. We didn't actually do the caves.
1, it looked really, really cool. But 2, I guess I would say my best recommendation for doing the Hato Caves would be 1, to do it as early as possible, so that way you're beating the heat. The way that they had described it to us, it sounded like it was going to be long and narrow, like a lot of stairs. Day 8 on the itinerary is Mambo Beach, which I thought was a really cool and trendy area. It kind of looked like a party, like nightlife area. I think they have something for everybody though. I really like the area. Like there was a lot of families too with kids, so I don't want to scare any families away because it was definitely like...
It's the trendy tourist area.
Yeah, it was family friendly. It was friendly to anybody that wanted to go. You want to go party, you want to go to a restaurant, it had everything for everyone. There was like an outdoor mall area, and then there was also like Stroopwafel, which is really good.
Shops, cigar lounge, cigar shop. That's where we got the Cuban cigars.
There was my trendy breakfast place that we went to. On the itinerary is the Royal Sea Aquarium. We stayed at the resort that butted up right next to this, and it was perfect because we could just walk right over. I really enjoyed the aquarium. I also enjoyed how much they seem to take care of their animals. There's not really like shows. It's more so like, come watch our feedings.
Right.
Even the dolphin show, it was more so like them showing us how they train the dolphins.
Right.
So it was really, really cool to see. There's like a little underwater submarine, and we were able to see sharks. That was really, really cool. I love that everything in this general area is just super walkable. So if you go to the aquarium for the day and you want to catch dinner, there's some really nice dinner spots right around the corner. Mambo Beach, Ola's and Copa's was one of my favorite restaurants, and it was right on that resort right next to the aquarium. Lots of good dinner spots. And overall, I loved that area was super relaxed. If you're someone who's looking to be very relaxed on this trip, or maybe you're older, you don't want to like hop around, go to a ton of beaches, this area by the aquarium is probably the best place to stay. I was pretty exhausted by the end of this trip, so I love that we wrapped. Yeah, I love that we wrapped up in this area because it was just so easy to get up, walk around, like go to the aquarium, go to dinner. Everything was close by.
Yeah, it was basically like the aquarium was built into the sea or built into the ocean. If you guys want the itinerary, they're free PDF downloads, so download it. Enjoy Curacao.
Tag us if you use it.
Tag us if you use it. We love seeing y'all travel. If you're gonna stay at any of the hotels that we stayed at, use our referral link below. Check out ExperienceTheExplored.com. Hit us up, ask us your travel questions. We just like to travel, we're here to help.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, go to ExperienceTheExplored.com.